Hi, it's me again with our series continuing about how to watch TV like a pro. Me delivering to you all of some of the essential things that you can learn about TV and TV writing simply by watching TV with a different lens. And these are things that I picked up over the years after having been in multiple writers' rooms and then beginning to understand what the dynamics are like in this particular medium that can make a real difference on the page for you and your script. And today it's all about action and what watching action can teach you about the TV world. So here's a thing to think about. Action is an element that can be dynamic and interesting and fun and kinetic and really pull in an audience. But it's also something that takes a lot of time, right? So you need to have, if you think about it, behind the scenes, you need to have actors who can do the action, stunt coordinators, you need to have time to rehearse, you need to have stunt doubles who come in and out. There are many, many factors that go into doing an action sequence on a budget on a TV show as opposed to a movie where you can actually spend days or even weeks doing an action sequence. You can't do that in TV. So one of the things that you're going to learn in action, if you're writing an action show or if you're speccing an action show, is how much action can that show really afford to do? What's the bandwidth of action? And that's a thing that you begin to think about when you're making TV that you might not think about if you're writing it independent of the people who are actually going to execute those action sequences. So it's really important for you to think about this as you watch TV. If you're doing an action show, let's say you're speccing something like, I don't know, Tracker, which is a show that I wrote on, or any number of other shows, Reacher or FBI or whatever, note for yourself as you watch those shows, how many action sequences are there per episode? Because I guarantee you that those things are calculated very specifically, that there are people who say we can only afford to do X number of scenes. Number one is how many are there, right? So that when you're writing your own show, you're doing a realistic version of what a show might do with, I don't know, 3 action sequences or 1 action sequence. The other question is, who are the action sequences with? Some of the time, often it's with 1 or 2 people. Certainly when I was on Covert Affairs, it would often be Annie Walker and the villain of the week. Similar for Tracker. Those are the kinds of scenes that become manageable, right? If you're writing action scenes in your pilot and every action scene has 7 or 8 people in it, that may or may not fly for a particular show. So depending on whether you're writing the kind of show that has those things in it, and if you see that kind of show on TV that has every action sequence has 8 people, then you know something about the kind of show that you're watching, what their budget might be, what their bandwidth might be. And if you're writing a show that realistically is sort of in the pocket of that kind of thing, then you can reasonably do that. But I'll tell you, from my experience, most of the time shows are doing a few, maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3 action sequences with 2 people or 3 people and nothing more, right? And so again, you can learn something about the production process and write your scripts in a way that really reflects what scripts look like, you know, what you might do on TV, because that's what executives and agents and people are always looking for. They want to know that you as a writer know the medium well enough to do things in the way that is reasonable and customary. And so that's one of the things that you're going to pay attention to. How many fights are there? How many action sequences are there? How many people are involved in them? And who are the people, right? Because it's often or almost always the lead or the second lead. You're not going to get random action sequences with people who, you know, are not at the top of that food chain or at the top of that call sheet. So there are some things that you can learn from action sequences. And I really encourage you, as you're watching TV like a pro, to absorb those and to put them into your script if your script has action. So thanks for watching. Leave any comments or thoughts below this video. Definitely use these notions in your next script. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.